Andrew Lloyd Webber is the musical brain behind a huge stream of global hits, from Phantom of the Opera through Cats, Evita, and most recently School of Rock. He has been described as the single most successful theatrical impresario. Not now, not here, but around the world and ever. He is being honoured with a Lifetime Tony Award in New York soon, and Andrew is with me now. Congratulations on that award.
Well, thank you. I'm not sure that I really am quite perhaps the impresario of all time, as it were.
Well, that's what they say about you.
I don't think so, really. No, I mean, it's...
Andrew, you've got more gongs than the average kind of Russian tank commander clinking on. What is very special about the Tony Award?
Well, I suppose, really, it's that Broadway is, whether we like it or not, it is the home of the musical. And Broadway is having a really fantastic time at the moment. It's having a real purple patch, and there's some really exciting new writers and new musicals there. And for me to get it from, as a Brit, from that community, it is, I think, probably, it probably is the sort of the one thing I never thought I'd have.
And musicals keep changing all the time. We've got Hamilton at the moment, a hip-hop musical. I wonder what you think about the new generation of musicals in the West End now.
Well, I think it's very exciting. And what's on Broadway at the moment is particularly exciting, I think. I mean, Lin-Manuel Miranda, who wrote Hamilton, I know quite well. And he's, I think, an amazing talent. I was lucky enough to see Hamilton in its very, very early stages, in a very, very raw stage. And I never, ever tweet, never, except this once I did say that I thought that it was the biggest breakthrough I'd seen in musical theatre for years. And then there's Dear Evan Hansen on Broadway at the moment, Pasek and Paul, you know, who are fantastic writers. They also wrote The Greatest Showman, and that has been a huge hit. And so musicals, musicals are having a really great time.
Having a really great time. Some people, more sort of serious-minded people, say that in the West End, musicals are crowding out serious theatre.
Well, I don't think that's the case, you know, because, do you know, funny enough, I was looking at an old magazine, which I happen to have lying around the house in the 1960s, and everything is pretty much the same. I mean, the big difference, I think, in those days was, of course, there were a lot more reviews. We don't have reviews anymore in the same way as we did. And they, of course, had a huge musical ingredient, but there's masses of opportunity for plays, and in fact, plays have had a very, very good run. I mean, we've
fantastic
just recently. I mean, really, really excellent. And you've got Michael Grandage and the Wyndhams at the moment. I mean, there's a lot going on.
Musical theatre and straightforward drama is very important to Britain. We know that. It's a kind of export industry as well. People come here and so forth. You have been highly critical, however, about musical education in this country. You've called it a national scandal.
Well, it is. The fact of the matter is that music in schools is one of the most incredible, empowering things that you could ever give a kid. It's not about, if you bring music into schools, it's not about turning people into musicians. It's about really empowering kids. I mean, that's why I wrote School of Rock. I thought there was a wonderful story, because it's about how music transforms children's lives. I mean, the fact of the matter is, I mean, if you just take one instant, why it's ludicrous that the cutbacks in schools to the arts and music is just so wrong. Look at the Brit School. Now, the Brit School is a wholly funded state school. It's now had its grant cut for the over-16s. That school produced Adele. It produced Amy Winehouse. What has that earned the country? I mean, for the government to not understand that every penny you spend on music and the arts comes back many, many times over is just nonsense. It's just bad economics.
You were in the House of Lords, of course, for a long time, and then you left because you thought that Brexit was so important that you couldn't give enough time to really thinking about it and speaking about it as you would want to. Since you've left, the House of Lords has voted against the government 15 times. Now, I know you were a kind of slightly easy-ozy Remainer in the end, but I wonder what you think about the peers now.
Well, I was a Remainer. I do not think that well, that would have been an issue for me in the House of Lords. I do not think you could possibly be part of an unelected House and vote against the will of the people. If I mean, that seems to me to be wrong. It's a difficult one. I myself felt that the House of Lords had become really very political. I joined it 20 years ago, and I was put in then, and it was a very different place. And I'm not a politician. Ultimately, I'm a composer. I've got a huge amount going on in America at the moment, and I just didn't think I'd have the time to be there.
Let me ask you about being a composer then, because I listed a few of your great, great hits going around the world. They must be like small children to you. You love them all. But is there one in particular, one musical that means more than anything else to you?
Not really. I got to say By Jeeves. By Jeeves is my Cinderella musical. I actually love it. I secretly play it at home. It's the only one.
Oh, really? And are you working on anything at the moment?
I've got a whole load of ideas at the moment. I've got some really quite exciting stories. I want to do something substantial next. I really enjoyed doing School of Rock, but that was slightly me off duty and having fun. I don't know. I haven't quite come down on it yet.
Well, we've got Iolanthe doing very, very well in the West End recently, and the House of Lords and all of that. Presumably, Brexit the musical is the one for you.
Probably not. Maybe Jeremy Thorpe. Maybe it's Thorpe.
That Thorpe, absolutely.
Thorpe, the musical.
With a singing role for Rinka, I hope.
Well, you never know. Yes, Rinka. That's okay. Yes, I think could be a song there for Rinka. I've done Cats, of course.
Of course you have. Andrew Lloyd Webber, very nice to talk to you. Thanks very much indeed for talking to us.